Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's video. This is Todd Bowen from sittingposture.com. How high should a standing desk be? I want to thank you guys for joining me real quick. I do value your time. I promise I will make it as worthwhile as possible. Computer posture can be a very boring and painful topic. I try to create content that is free, open-minded, relatable, and easily actionable. Quick note, the info in this presentation is not medical advice. It's based off my experience and my opinions. I talk about good habits that have helped me live a higher quality, sedentary lifestyle. Do your research, make good decisions, and be the best possible advocate you can be for your own healthcare. The specific goals of my channel are to help the user decrease pain caused by sitting at a computer, increase energy, improve mental clarity, and increase work productivity. Quick note about me, my name is Todd Bowen. I've got an information technology degree, so I've taken classes like workstation ergonomics and user experience. I'm a lifelong athlete and exerciser, and I've been living a sedentary lifestyle for the last 20 plus years. Here's a quick look at my website. If you want to go to it, sittingposture.com, you can sign up for a weekly email update. I don't spam, I just send one email a week on Fridays. It contains a link to the article that I wrote that week and 2 links to the YouTube videos that I posted that week. Okay, let's get into it. How high should a standing desk be? Standing desks are beneficial to me for many reasons. My blood circulation is improved throughout the day while I'm standing compared to sitting. It also improves my mental clarity, which makes me more productive and creative. The option to stand up straight at work allows me to activate muscles that would otherwise be neglected if I were sitting all day. Standing also allows me to keep a balanced activation between my anterior muscles and my posterior muscles. You'll hear me refer to that often, that comparison. Anterior means the muscles on the front of our body. Posterior means the muscles on the back side of our body. If we were sitting instead of standing, most of the anterior muscles are typically compressed and shortened all day that we're at work for 8 hours. The posterior muscles are contracted, so they're being used. However, they're being overextended and lengthened. Most of them that is, this caused a major imbalance in functionality for me during exercise, sports, running, even while sleeping, because if we're stuck in that position for 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, 2,000 hours a year, we're not just going to get up from our desk and get out of that position. You know, we're gonna be stuck there. Our shoulders are gonna be tight, our chest's gonna be tight, our back's gonna be overextended, and it takes a lot to correct that. Using an adjustable standing desk has reduced the probability of straining my back, either while working or while exercising. Since I've started standing more, my back feels healthier and stronger. Everybody's situation is different. Ergonomics can be based on multiple variables. A person's height, arm length, leg length, body type, and job requirements are just a few of those variables. Determining the proper height of an adjustable standing desk can help you maintain good posture more consistently than sitting. I like to talk about my experiences with as little as information possible that will lead to the biggest results. So with that said, today I'm going to share the three most important factors I use to determine how high a standing desk should be. Let's get into it. Number one, go with an adjustable standing desk versus a non-adjustable standing desk. And there's a lot of good reasons for this. Ideally, we want to work in multiple different positions throughout the day. Sitting is not the only enemy here. The enemy is repetitive strain and repetitive use to our muscles and tendons caused by being stuck in the same position for 40 hours per week. So this repetitive strain can happen regardless if we are sitting or if we're standing. It's not what position we are in that causes this, it's how long we are in that position. So I like to work in 3 different positions when I'm at my computer desk. These positions are standing, sitting in an office chair the old traditional way, and sitting on a stool. So it's very important to me that I have a desk that I'm able to work in these 3 positions at the same adjustable height desk. Being able to work in these 3 positions at the same adjustable height desk is important to me. If I was just stuck with one height of that desk, I could only work in that one position. I would not want to be committed to a desk that is only one height that can't be adjusted. Quick note before we look at some pictures here, I'm not compensated by any product sellers or manufacturers. So if I talk about a desk or a keyboard or a mouse, it's not because I'm compensated. There's no paid promotion in this video. It's simply just because I like the design of it, or I paid my own money for the product and it has helped improve my sedentary lifestyle. So here's a good look at a desk. You can tell this is adjustable because you can see the legs here, how they extend up and down. This person obviously stands at this desk as well as sits at it. So this is key here, being able to sit and stand at the same adjustable desk. Here's another similar desk, and here's the third position I use when I'm working at a computer desk, is sitting on a stool. So this desk right here applies to standing, sitting on a stool, and sitting on a chair. That's what I need, and that's what I think is most beneficial for me. Factor number 2, here's the big one right here of how high should a standing desk be. I keep the height of my standing desk even with or slightly below my elbow height. Now this applies to the surface where the keyboard and the mouse rest. We'll talk about the monitor in a minute, but this applies to the surface where the keyboard and the mouse rest, wherever you're going to rest your hands most of the time, which is obviously the keyboard and mouse. I never want to have my elbows below desk level. That causes me to activate my bicep too much in order to put my hands on the keyboard and the mouse. In the past, I used to keep my elbow below the desk level. It caused pain and dysfunction for me in my elbows and in my shoulders. You hear people talk about tennis elbow a lot. Another common elbow injury from repetitive strain is ulnar nerve entrapment, which is kind of like carpal tunnel syndrome in the wrist, except it happens in the elbow. And obviously shoulder pain from keeping my elbow below the desk. Keeping my elbows an inch or two above the desk level allows me to engage my tricep muscles more and take some of the burden off my biceps. Let's take a look at this here. So say, for example, if this guy's elbow is below the desk, the picture on the left, his muscle has to contract to get this arm up at that angle right there to put his hands on the keyboard and mouse. On the other side of this, you can see over here where this guy, say the desk is lower, and he's able to keep his forearm at a downward angle. He can rest his hands more easily, less burden on the biceps, more use of the triceps. But I was always a lot less likely to have pain in the back of my shoulder where these tendons attach than I was in the front of my shoulder when my bicep was contracted for too long of a period of time. I would always get pain in these tendons up here. So that bicep was much more of a cause of the pain in my shoulder than my triceps ever were. So I make sure that my elbow is never below the desk level. Here's a good picture right here. He's got the extended monitor, which is great. He's standing, and his elbows are actually probably more than an inch or two above the desk. But if that's comfortable for him, that's good. If it's not causing any issues anywhere else, he's got his forearms at a downward angle, which is how I like to do it. And his hands look like they're resting comfortably. He's got the flat keyboard. I like that a lot right there. So you can see, we'll look at this picture again. He's not contracting his bicep as much. He's doing more of this movement right here. You can see this forearm again is at a downward angle. Here's the picture. Forearm is at a downward angle from the elbow to the wrist. So you can tell that he's engaging his triceps just a little bit more than he's engaging his biceps. And the third and final factor for today, the top of your monitor screen should be eye level. This factor doesn't directly correlate to the height of your standing desk where the keyboard and the mouse rest. Factor 2 does that. But this factor is very important in determining whether or not you need to raise the level of your monitor. Sometimes we don't need to. If we're working on a laptop and we have an external monitor, sometimes it doesn't need to be raised. But if we're taller, I'm 6'3", so I typically need to raise mine higher than my keyboard and my mouse. The base of it, I need to raise the base of it higher than the keyboard and my mouse. So let's look at some pictures here. Elbow is almost level with the desk. If he's comfortable there, that's cool, but his arm is going in just a slight upward angle from the elbow to the wrist. So I wouldn't work in that position personally. That's just my personal preference. But you see here, he's looking down at a 45-degree angle just to see the top of his monitor, which is not good. So he's got to look at more than a 45-degree angle to see the rest of his monitor. That causes him to lean his head forward, which is in front of his torso, which is going to cause a lot of muscle imbalance between the muscles on the back of his neck and the front of his neck. It's going to cause muscle imbalance between his chest being compressed and his upper back being extended. So if I was him, I would lower this desk just a little bit to allow me to relax my hands a little bit. I could bring my elbows a little closer in to my sides, and then stand back a little bit. Oh, well, the monitor, he's got to get an external monitor in order for him to be able to lean his head back. So that's what I would do in that situation. Here's another one, very similar. Her arms are pretty parallel to the floor, which is a good position, in my opinion. Like I said, just personal preference. I would lower this desk a little bit for me, so my arms are more of a downward angle, like the first picture I showed you in this video. Again, she's looking down at a 45-degree angle just to see the top of her screen. So she's got to look at more than a 45-degree angle to see the rest of her screen. So an external monitor here would do her a lot of good. Her head is tilted down, but it's not in front of her torso, so that's better than the guy in the last picture. His head was actually in front of his torso, which is going to cause a lot of dysfunction. Here it looks like we have the same person, the same user here. She's got the external monitor here, so she's got the forearms parallel to the floor, which is good. Everything looks pretty relaxed. You can tell it just looks like, if anything, she's contracting that tricep just a little bit more than that bicep. That bicep looks relaxed, which is really important for decreasing shoulder pain caused by typing or using a mouse. But the main thing here we're talking about is the external monitor. The top of her monitor is at eye level, which is awesome. And you can tell, we'll go back to the other picture of her. You can just see the angle. Look at the angle of her face. It's almost at a 45-degree angle there. And then if you go to the angle of her face here, not straight up and down, but it's not at that 45-degree angle when she was looking down at her laptop screen. Here's a good one here. I used to sit on a Swiss exercise ball. It was cool. I just don't have one right now. Not to say that I won't do it again, but she obviously has an adjustable desk where she can stand, sit on a stool, sit on a chair, and sit on a Swiss ball, which is a good idea. I like to rotate positions every 15 to 30 minutes, depending on how productive I am and how creative I am, how much work I'm getting done. So here's a good look at a diagram. He's got his elbows at a little bit more than a 90-degree angle, which is good. Again, the forearms are parallel with the floor, which is acceptable by a lot of people. It works well for a lot of people. Like I said, for me, I just want that just a little bit lower. Maybe it's from years of shoulder pain. I don't know. Now I just like that desk just a little bit lower so I can take advantage of using the triceps more than the biceps. But the extended monitor here looks good. The top of the monitor screen is at eye level, and he's looking 45-degree angle down just to see the very bottom, which is rare. We don't need to see the bottom that often. So very good position here for his eye level desk and his monitor. And I included this picture, even though it has someone sitting, because just notice that the factors are the same, regardless if he's sitting, the top of the eye level's at the top of the monitor. If he's standing, the eye level's at the top of the monitor. If he's sitting, his forearms are still parallel to the floor. Standing, forearms are still parallel to the floor. So like I said, I would raise the seat up just a little bit, just personal preference, and my forearms would be downward at a downward angle to the wrist just a little bit. And same here, I'd lower this desk just an inch or two so that my biceps could relax just a little bit and my forearms would be at a downward angle. Just personal preference. So in summary, how high should a standing desk be? Go with an adjustable standing desk versus a non-adjustable standing desk. You want to be able to adjust the height according to what position we're working in, sitting, standing, sitting in a chair, sitting on a stool, sitting on an exercise ball. Not to mention, sometimes if we're working at home, we might be working barefoot. Sometimes we might need to work with shoes on. So that's an inch right there that it adds to our elbow height. Number 2 factor, this is the important one, of how high to actually keep the standing desk. I keep the height of my standing desk even with or slightly below elbow height. This applies to the surface where the keyboard and the mouse rest. As far as the monitor goes, the way to determine that variable, the top of your monitor screen should be eye level. So that's it, guys, for today's video. Thanks for watching. If you made it this far, congratulations. You're taking a big step forward in improving the quality of your life, and you should be proud of that. If you want, like I said earlier, sign up for free email updates. I only send one email a week on Fridays. It contains a link to the article that I wrote on my website for that week, and it also contains 2 links for the YouTube videos that I posted that week. You can go to sittingposture.com/newsletter to get there. And you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you'd like to see my videos in your feed more often. youtube.com/@sittingposture in your browser. Don't forget to put that @ sign, otherwise I don't think it'll get you to my channel. And finally, all of my content is always going to be free. The more people that see my videos, the more ability, the more time and energy I have to make more content. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Do me a favor, another way to help me out if you found this video helpful, please hit the like button for me. And finally, a last way it could really help me spread my message is to feel free to forward this video to a friend or family member who sits at a computer full time. That is the ultimate compliment. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you. That's it for today. How high should a standing desk be? This is Todd Bowen from sittingposture.com. Take care. We'll see you on the next video.